Hey YouTube, in this video I want to talk about the gold and silver stocks. There are some beautifully bullish patterns shaping up with these ones, and I think they might be the next sector to explode. Then after that, I'm going to get into a couple of your questions. Now, if you're new to my channel, I've been trading and investing for over 20 years, and in every video, I'll show you some of the potential trades and investments that I see setting up. So if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss any future trading or investing ideas. And I also have a Patreon group, so if you would like to be a part of our community and see what we are buying and selling in real time, that link is in the description. All right, everybody, let's get into this. But before I get started, if you could like the smash button for me and help me out with the YouTube algorithm before putting all this together for you, I would greatly appreciate it. But with that being said, guys, I have a lot to show you, so I'm going to try to move rather quickly so this video doesn't take forever. So you may want to grab a pen and a piece of paper, or at least hit the pause button and check these out a little bit more closely, because I definitely think you're going to want to take a second look at some of these ones that I'm going to show you. But the first chart I'm going to show you is the daily chart of the RGLD, which of course is the gold ETF. And we can see gold has been going up since mid-2018, and it topped out in mid-2020 and has been pulling back ever since. But if we take a closer look, we can see gold had made a very nice double bottom at the end of March of this year and has been trending up ever since. And now it is above that all-important yellow line, which is the 200-period simple moving average. So this is telling me that probably a lot of gold stocks are under accumulation. And actually the chart on the gold price actually jumps out a little bit more on the longer time frame. So let's jump to the weekly chart first. And this is actually a massive cup and a handle formation. I first heard of this pattern when it was talked about by William J. O'Neill, who is the founder of the Investor's Business Daily. He made an absolute fortune using this pattern to predict when stocks were going to go up. If you're not familiar with the cup and the handle pattern, definitely Google that and get a little bit more familiar with it. It is a very powerful pattern. But let's go to the monthly chart real quick before I jump on. And you can see in the monthly chart, it looks even better. A very nice, well-defined handle on the right side of the pattern. And this thing looks ready to make an all-time high anytime now. Now, these are monthly bars here, so it could take, a month or two or three to finally break to a new all-time high. But it looks like it's probably going to be inevitable. Now, let me go back to the daily chart and jump over and show you silver. Go to the SLV, which of course is the silver ETF. And this is the daily chart, and you can see it's in a pretty much a bullish triangle formation. But if we go to the weekly chart and the monthly chart, that's where it's really going to jump out. You can see this nice rounded bottom in silver, and we have this beautiful triangle consolidation happening where it was starting to put pressure on that upper resistance area right around 2750 or so. And if we go to the monthly chart, it looks even better. So, I mean, just looking at this monthly chart, this nice rounded bottom, this beautiful bullish triangle formation that just looks poised to break above this resistance area. It just looks like these stocks are winding, or these two metals are winding up to go higher. And of course, that is good for the miners. And let's actually jump to the GDX first before I get into some of the individual ones. Just to take a look at the GDX. Let's look at the daily chart first, and you can see that the GDX moves very similarly to the actual price of gold, for a good reason, because that's what a lot of their profits come from, is from gold. But if we go to the weekly chart, we can see that it was making a very nice rounded bottom, and then of course COVID hit. Had a huge move down, but it has been screaming up ever since, and now it is starting to pull back. But if we throw a Fibonacci grid on the move up from the COVID lows, and we can see that it made a very nice reversal off the 50% retracement level. So this is very bullish for the GDX. And now let's get into some of the individual stocks. Let's take a look at actually the one that I've dipped my toe in the water with first, and that is VGZ. If we look at VGZ, VGZ is in the middle of a saucer formation, a rounded bottom, and this thing looks like it is ready to go up. Now, this one is a very thinly traded stock. You know, there's only 137,000 shares have been traded so far today, and it's only at $1.18. So this is a very speculative one. So this is the first one I've started buying. I'm still looking into some of the more expensive ones that I definitely want to hold for the long term in case these stocks end up going on larger runs, which I think they are going to. But if we look at the weekly chart on VGZ, you can see just a beautiful long rounded bottom that goes all the way back to 2016. So these are these kind of patterns are just screaming accumulation. So I'm pretty optimistic on VGZ. I happen to really like this pattern. This is the first one I started with. Let's go back to the daily chart. And next one I want to show you is NGD. If we look at NGD, this is the daily chart. I had this support box drawn on this quite a while ago. It actually came right down to the top of it. I actually was thinking about purchasing some of NGD if it got towards the lower boundaries, but it got right to the top of that support area and immediately reversed. And right now it's at $2.18, but just another beautiful rounded bottom type formation. And if we take a look at this one on the weekly chart, we can see this one is looking really nice as well. I mean, just coming around a nice rounded bottom ready to make a new high. So NGD is looking good. Next one I want to show you is BTG. That is the weekly chart. Let's go to the daily real quick. Now, BTG had a nice run off of the pandemic lows, but it has been pulling back ever since, ever since it made that high right around mid-July or so. So this one is kind of a head scratcher. Pulled all the way back from 750 all the way down to about 415 or so, but has since rebounded to over $5, and actually today it is slightly below 5. Actually, you can pretty much call it 5 on the money. It's at 4.99 at the moment. But a little added bonus with BTG is that they pay an almost 3% dividend. And if we go to the weekly chart and take a look at them, this one looked like it probably had a nice bounce off of the COVID lows as well. On the Fibonacci grid, I mean, and it pulled all the way back to the 61.8% retracement level and is now headed back up. So that is a very important retracement level on the Fibonacci grids. Next one I want to show you is Goro, Goro. And this is the weekly chart of Goro. I guess I'll start on this one first, but you can see it's making a very nice descending triangle, which of course is a bullish formation and is now starting to round back up. But let's go to the daily chart. We can see that just a little bit better, but a very nice descending wedge formation, which of course is a bullish formation. If I zoom in a little bit closer, you can see it's been going sideways since last October, and it looks like it is poised to jump back above that 200 period simple moving average. So Goro is a very nice looking chart as well. Next one I want to show you is IAG, which is I Am Gold Corporation. This one making a nice rounded bottom as well. I mean, this is going to be the theme, guys. They're all making very, very bullish patterns. IAG does not pay a dividend, but it's still a very nice looking pattern. If you look at the weekly chart, it has been pretty much in a consolidation since mid-2018. So IAG is another one you might want to check out. Actually, let's go back to the daily chart first and check out KGC, which is Kinross Gold, and we can see that this one is making a rounded bottom as well. So I mean, a lot of these companies are just making absolutely beautiful patterns. KGCA, I believe, pays about a 1.5% dividend, so that's going to be a nice bonus with some of these lower priced gold stocks. Most lower price stocks don't pay a dividend, but there are several of these that do. And actually, most of the gold stocks pay a dividend, especially once you start going up in price. Next one I want to show you is HL, and this is one of the stronger ones. We can see this one has already exploded out of this rounded bottom formation. It's already making new highs. It's right around 9.25, up almost 4% on the day. And HL does pay a dividend, but it's only about a 0.5%. But I guess that's better than nothing. And if you're going to get into a bullish sector, it's always nice when they have a dividend, when you're getting paid to wait for these to continue to go higher. So that is always a bonus. Next one I want to show you is GFI. GFI has made a nice rounded bottom. It started to move higher, but has since pulling back. It's pulling back towards those major moving averages. This one's closer to a buy zone because it's pulling back towards some major support. So GFI is looking really good in my opinion. That one's about $11.10 at the moment. And this one pays, I think, almost a 4% dividend. So this one has a pretty decent yield for a lower price stock. Next one I want to talk about is gold. And this one, of course, is Barrick Gold. A lot of people know this one because Warren Buffett has been buying this one. And when I say Warren Buffett, I mean Berkshire Hathaway. I know a lot of people, when they say Warren Buffett's buying this, Warren Buffett's buying that, it's actually Berkshire Hathaway. But I think it was last August, he bought over 20 million shares, right around maybe 26, 27 bucks. So it looks like he's still underwater a little bit, or at least Berkshire Hathaway is anyway. But Barrick Gold pays about a 1.5% yield, but it's still a pretty decent looking chart pattern. And I guess if you buy now, you can say you bought in cheaper than Warren Buffett, or at least from his first buy anyway. But I think Barrick Gold is a pretty decent looking chart pattern as well. Next one I want to show you is WPM. WPM is starting to round up as well and has been consolidating at this higher level. And actually, if you look at the candle that it's making right now, it looks like it could be headed up higher into a new relative high out of this breakout. So WPM is looking pretty good. And this one also pays a dividend, but I think it's pretty small. I think this one's right around 1%. But one of the better looking chart patterns in this sector is Newmont Mining. You can see Newmont Mining has been in a long base ever since mid-2020 and has recently just broken out of it and is pulling back towards that support level. And you can actually probably raise the support level a little bit because that doesn't include this price action. And if I do that and move this thing out, you can see it's pulling right back towards support as I'm making this video. But Newmont Corporation has always been one of the stronger stocks in this sector, and they also pay a dividend. They pay about a 3.1% yield, so Newmont Corporation might be a decent one to buy if you don't want to buy any of those lower price stocks. And the last one I want to show you in the gold sector is RGLD. If we look at RGLD, we can see this one is making a very nice rounded bottom formation as well. And you could probably call this one a little bit of a cup and a handle formation with a little bit of a handle right here, and it's starting to take off again. So this one's up about 3%. So gold is actually doing quite well today, and I would expect the gold sector to continue. Now, let's take a look at some silver stocks real quick, and I'm going to start with the lowest one first, and it's ASM. So this is Avino Silver and Gold. This one is technically in the silver sector, even though the name says, or at least on my TC2000 software, it comes up in the silver sector, but it says Avino Silver and Gold. And we can see that ASM has made a very nice rounded bottom formation. Actually, if you take away this huge day that it had when the Reddit crowd got a hold of it, actually this probably went a long ways to keep it from breaking out sooner, but it is still under accumulation. It wouldn't surprise me one bit if this thing is breaking above the 150 to 155 area where the resistance is anytime, especially if silver breaks out of that range. I would expect ASM to do quite well. This one is, trading at $1.30 at the moment with a little over 1 million shares traded. So, some pretty decent volume on ASM for being this low of a stock, but definitely a beautiful pattern. Next one I want to show you is SVM. If you look at SVM, making another rounded bottom formation. I mean, just like the whole sector, almost every single stock in these two sectors are making the very similar pattern, and that, of course, is very bullish for these stocks. When you see the whole sector making the same pattern, that means, especially when it's a bullish pattern, that is a very good sign for that sector. And SVM is also making that nice rounded bottom formation. Next one I want to show you is SFM. You can see SFM has been in a pretty tight consolidation going all the way back to last July. So this one is just continuing to be accumulated. And, once silver gets going, this one is probably going to have a nice breakout. And, the old saying, the longer the breakout, the bigger the move up. So FSM is looking pretty good at the moment. Next one I want to show you is EXK. EXK is also starting to break, almost breaking out to a new high. So EXK is another great looking stock at the moment. I'm trying to get through all of these guys so this video doesn't drag on too long because I still haven't got to the questions yet. But next one I want to show you is MAG, Mag Silver Corporation. Mag Silver Corporation is about ready to break out to a new high as well. So you can see silver is a little bit stronger than gold at the moment. I actually like the silver stocks a little bit better, even though I've already started in VGZ. But I am taking a hard look at ASM as well because I really like that formation. And last one I want to show you in silver is PAAS, and that is Pan American Silver. And this one is making the same pattern as well. It's pretty much a rounded bottom consolidation formation going all the way back to last July. So a beautiful pattern shaping up in Pan American Silver as well. All right, well, let's get into the questions now. The first one was from Lau, L-A-U. I don't know how to say that, if it's Lau, or I don't know how to pronounce names or usernames, so forgive me if I'm saying that wrong. But the question was on GTE, Grand Tierra Energy Corporation. And I've talked about this one on a couple of my videos in the past. I don't know if I didn't really see a specific question. I think you just wanted me to go over it. But, you guys know that I absolutely love this type of pattern. You can see that GTE is starting to carve out a bottom and looks like it's ready to jump above that resistance area. Now, what you want to do is when you see these two tops, you just want to draw that resistance area. If you're not in the stock yet, draw the lows that are rising and wait for it to bust above that resistance area. Sometimes I like to jump in if the market is moving fast. I like to jump in a little bit early and anticipate it. And other times when the market is not moving so fast, I like to wait for the breakout and for it to pull back and hold just a tiny bit. Because when the market, when these type of stocks aren't in favor, you'll notice that a lot of these breakouts tend to fail. Now, right now it seems like a lot of these lower price stocks have been in favor. I mean, today a lot of these stocks are pulling back, but it seems like a lot of these breakouts have been working. So when the breakouts have been working, I like to anticipate and buy early. But if if you're noticing a lot of breakouts that are failing, all you want to do, wait for it to break out and start moving sideways for a couple of days just to prove to you that it has a better chance of getting into a sustainable uptrend. But if you're not in this stock, I would kind of these stocks are kind of strong, so I don't know, maybe in this type of situation, I personally would probably nibble right now, and if it broke out, I would probably buy a little bit more to round out my position. And then, of course, if it broke down below this trend line is when I would take my small loss and move on to the next trade. But I do love GTE. I think it's a very bullish-looking pattern, and I think this one has a good probability of going higher, especially if it breaks out. All right, the next one I want to get into was from Derek. He was asking about XFLS. XFLS. I don't think I've ever heard of this one before. Yep, this one is a 5-cent stock. Yeah, definitely haven't heard of X Fuels before, but I do absolutely love this pattern. Nice, beautiful looking bullish triangle formation. So this thing looks ready to break out of break through resistance right around, I don't know, I would probably call it 6 cents. And man, just a bullish looking pattern for a 5-cent stock. Usually don't see stocks under 10 cents making really nice patterns like this. But XFLS is definitely a bullish looking stock. I don't think my broker will allow me to trade this one, but I don't know, I haven't checked. If they do, I think I might end up taking a small shot on this one because I do like this pattern. I think this one has a lot of potential to be breaking out pretty soon because it's putting a lot of pressure on that resistance area. The lows are starting to rise up, so that's showing you that the accumulation that's going on every time the stock drops, they're buying it sooner. They're not letting it drop as far as it did before. So I definitely think XFLS is a very nice looking chart, Derek. If you're in this one, I would sit tight. if you're not in this one, I don't know. I might anticipate that if it was me, I might anticipate the breakout and take a shot on it. I wouldn't bet the farm on these lower price stocks, but they're worth a small bet, and if they do explode, these can pay off really well. But XFLS, definitely a very nice looking pattern. All right, guys, well, that's all I have for this video, so I'm going to end it right there. But if you have any questions about any of these stocks, or if you have any other stocks you want me to take a look at, please leave them down there in the comment section. I will get to them as soon as I can. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching my video all the way to the end, guys, and until next time, take care.